So I says to the guy, says to him, why you got to bring that in here if you're not even going to use it? Anyways, hello, ladies and gentlemen, owners and fans. I am your most gracious host, Johnathan, the Cutoff Man Silva, coming to you live and in recording. Week 2, episode 2 of the podcast. Bringing in some juicy gossip, some juicy info, and even juicier opinions. We have a lot of stuff. I want to do a little deep dive into the teams and the league this week. I know last week we had a lot of info on it was basically a bunch of catch up on the trades, the drama, the goings on of the league, and it was very nice of the commissioner to join me. Really appreciate it. Got a lot of insight on the background dealings and kind of like the construction of the league and little workarounds and discussions we had as a group. But this week I want to do a little tiny deep dive on the teams. We have 8 total teams, 8 owners, 4 in the East, 4 in the West. West the best, toughest conference out there. That's just my opinion, but what do I know? We'll start with the East. We've got 4 members there. Big D, Daniel's team, Secondees Republic, Mr. Dr. Gunner, John Fisher's Ruptured Balls, Mr. Jonas, and Backdoor Slider Reese. 4 guys, 4 great guys, 4 great owners, doing their thing. But in the West, teams to beat: A's to Z's, Mr. Adam, the final finalist, Jake, Beltre's Big Balls, which is myself, and no luck's given, the others, Stuart, Tyler. No, I'm kidding. Not the other side, but it's Tyler. A new owner after one weekend. Been doing his thing. Love seeing him rise to the occasion after doing the buyout of the old owner. And can't wait to see where he goes. The sky's the limit for the kid. But after 8 weeks, the standings, some even, some not so good. Some owners would like to see a better performance out of teams, but injuries have set them back and other stuff happens. But we have A's to Z's at 5-2-1. We have the final finalists at 5-3, Beltre's Big Balls at 3-5, and no luck's given at 3-5 as well. Really tough division opponents there, but in the East we have the Big D at 5-2-1. Secondees at 5-3, John Fisher at 3-5, and Backdoor Sliders at 2-6. Lot of schedule left, a lot of season left. Rankings could change. A lot of trades happen, injuries happen. Anything can happen in this league, and that's why we do it. It's a lot of numbers, but also a lot of fun and a lot of what ifs. But we're going to talk a little transactions first. Before I do a deep dive on the teams, the transactions that's happened. We've had on Wednesday a trade between John Fisher and Beltre's Big Balls. John Fisher sent Max Kepler and Luis Garcia to Beltre's Big Balls, and Beltre sends a pitcher, Brian Bello, and Hae-Sung Kim. And the trade also involves a late round pick swap. And on Friday, we had a trade between the final finalists and Secondees Republic. The finalists acquired Carlos Correa in exchange for a 21st round pick to Secondees. And on Saturday, we had a trade between Backdoor Sliders and Secondees. The Sliders sent Julio Rodriguez and an 18th round pick to Secondees in exchange for a 21st round pick, Taylor Ward, and Brady Singer. Razel Iglesias will be dropped by the Sliders once the trade is executed. And on Sunday, we had a trade between the Backdoor Sliders and the final finalists. The finalists sent UC Kikuchi and Jerukasem Profar to the Backdoor Sliders in exchange for Yu Darvish, and Anthony Volpe, and a 12th round pick. That just happened. Backdoor Sliders, lots of trades. Mr. Reese loves trading, and I believe he's still looking for trades. Trades is his game, and so far we're gonna see how it pans out for him, because I don't think he has but one original top 4 pick left on the team. But speaking of team, we'll do a little dive on best hitters and best pitchers for teams. We'll start with the backdoor sliders. His newly acquired Jefferson Profar, 146 points, is his best hitter now on the team, and his best pitcher being Chris Sale. Two good names, two guys who are just out there doing their work, getting the points. Just you really can't say anything about the best guys on the teams. It's tradable. Who's to say? I mean, Profar was traded for. Reese would. I don't know. In my opinion, I think he'd trade him again. I don't know about Sale. I think he keeps Sale for the rest of the season, but we'll see. Next, we have John Fisher's ruptured balls. His best hitter would be Kyle Tucker at 184 points. Just big contributions. His best pitcher being Clark Schmidt at 130 points. Yeah, Jonas's bullpen not really strong, but his hitters. They just keep hitting, and that's where he's getting his points at. He'll have like a burst from his bullpen, but we'll see. I think he's looking for more arms to strengthen that area on his team. But he's got plenty of weeks to do that, and plenty of weeks to find a free agent that may, become long term. Next, we have Sagandis. His best hitter, the team's best hitter, would be Bobby Witt Jr. at 161 points. Great bats. He's struggled here and there, but from what I've seen and what I've heard, he produces, and that's all you can ask for. But Sagandis really found a gem in the name of Ranger Suarez at 188 points. Best pitcher in baseball right now, points wise. I mean, Gunner, you found a guy, and if I was you, hold on to him tight and buy him dinner here and there. He's doing your numbers, and we all wish we had a Ranger on our team. Rangers, Jonas would like to say. We have Big D, their best hitter, Mookie Betts, superstar caliber player at 175 points on the season, doing great things. Can't say any more. Big D's best pitcher, Shota Imanaga at 170. I mean, consistency is all you really ask for, and these guys are consistently getting Big D major points. Next team, we have Nolex Given, best hitter being Aaron Judge at 151 points. A name we all know, but a name that can also be shooting or hitting in volumes, either hot or cold. And hopefully for Nolex, he stays hot and continues to get more points for the team. Their best pitcher, Tariq Skubal at 178 points. Not a very known name for those who are casual watchers like myself, but he's producing 178 points. Can't argue that. I mean, he's going out there and pitching his heart out. Beltre's big balls, my team. The hit stick himself, Alec Bohm at 147 points. Glad I drafted the guy. He's been keeping me in close battles throughout the weeks. I know the record doesn't show, but that's partly on me. I need to get the other guys on the same mentality as Boom. And my leader of the bullpen, Seth Lugo, at 176 points. Great. That's all I can say about him. This is just great. Final finalists have probably the best player in baseball, Shohei Ohtani, as his best hitter, 181 points. The guy can do it all. One of a kind. Who wouldn't want them on their team? Final finalist best pitcher, though, is Luis Gil, 138 points. Same deal. He's looking for stronger arms. Gil's producing, but it can't just be Gil, right? You need some other arms to contribute as well. And I believe Jake is trying to find those arms. And last but certainly not least, we have the A's to Z's. Best hitter being Juan Soto at 180 points. Soto, he's going to hit the baseball. He's just going to continue hitting until he retires. That's all he does. And A's to Z's best pitcher, Tyler Glasnow, 179 points. He's just great. Fantastic arm. Mr. Adam has done a terrific job, and drafting and trading for the guys he knows can produce the points that he needs. But for these points, everything comes down to like the numbers, innings pitched, hitting, walks, strikeouts, RBIs, all that stuff contributes into these points. But the most points so far scored in this league would be A's to Z's, Mr. Adam, at 2,519 points on this season so far. Whoosh, that's a big number. My projection is he's going to be the first to cross the 3,000 point threshold, and he can certainly just keep going. I don't see really any stopping in their future as a team. And if he continues to pick and choose his pitchers and those trades, he's very, stern about. He knows who he wants, and he's going to get them. But the team's going to continue to thrive, and I can't blame him. He does this thing. I hate him for it. Like, just give anybody a chance, but he's going to put the nail in the coffin and send you down under. The lowest point scored is the newly acquired team, No Lux Given, at 1,799 points, basically 1,800 points on the year. This is going to be week 2 for the kid, the new owner. He's been welcomed to the league. The team has cleaned house. The owner has picked up some new arms, some new bats. Hopefully they can contribute. It's nice to see this team alive and start, producing, showing out for the owners, the new owners. I believe the owner is going to start looking at trades in the next coming weeks, but we have yet to see one yet. Looking forward to what their first big trade is going to be. But teams that have struggled, quote unquote, on paper via the record would be John Fisher's Ruptured Balls, Jonas's team. He has scored top 2 in points the past couple weeks, but has lost. His points against is at 2,400 points. Yikes, right? It's unfortunate, the streak Jonas has been on, but we're still early in the season. He's still got a lot of time to get things turned around and find their groove to overcome those battles of getting outscored by higher opponents, should we say. I mean, you score 400, Jonas's team, and the guy next to him is going to score 450. I mean, you just got to find a way to overcome that, and that's his job for the season, in my opinion, is finding how to not be in those kind of matchups, even though it's hard to control that. But the team with the least resistance, and from many owners saying easy going, would be Segondi's National Republic. They've only gone up against 2,115 points. Very minimal points against due to lineups not being set or injuries. But he's also had injuries on himself. Would consider you can only play who's you're signed up to play that week. And he's taken advantage of that, becoming one of the top teams in the league. Can't really hate on that. But we have here from our gracious and contributing commissioner, Daniel, has kind of had a breakdown on the team's at bats and pitching. We're gonna do batting first. Let's talk about the numbers. Adam's team has had a total of 2,100 at bats. Not too shabby. Out of those at bats, 566 hits, 304 runs, 278 RBIs, 216 walks. But they've struck out 468 times and have stolen a total of 68 total bases. Not bad numbers. I mean, for a guy in first, you can live with it, right? You can only get better. This is the floor. He only wants to go up. Best team in baseball in the league, in my opinion. I mean, he's going to be a tough guy to beat. We have Ty's new team hitting 442 hits, 270 runs, 212 RBIs, 198 walks, and struck out 471 times. 42 stolen bases. I mean, it's a team he just acquired, so the numbers don't really reflect his team. In my opinion, he's going to put his stamp of approval on the team once he gets it set. And I believe after this next week, that third week is where he's going to start, or the league's going to be put on notice on what he and his team can do. Daniel's team, 2,179 at bats, 574 hits, 318 runs, 285 RBIs, 200 walks, and 466 strikeouts on 50 stolen bases. Wow. What can he say? Numbers don't lie, right? Wins, losses, it all comes down to those strikeouts. And 466, middle of the pack. He'd like to see less of that. We'll see in the coming weeks on what he does. Gunner's team, 2,165 at bats, 564 hits, 326 runs, 293 RBIs, 232 walks on 553 strikeouts on 52 stolen bases. That league leading in strikeouts on his hitters, and he hates seeing strikeouts. He hates it more than winning. And I was on a call with him earlier, past couple of days, and he goes, "Oh look, another strikeout. Oh look, another strikeout." And I could just see him writing down notes for the batting coaches saying, "Work on not getting struck out." I mean, man, you can only do so much as an owner, and just watching your players strike out over and over probably doesn't do good for the heart. But Jake's team's got 1,800 at bats, almost around 500 hits, 270 runs, 281 RBIs, 178 walks, and 411 strikeouts. Jake's team, least walks in the league. His team does not like walking for some reason, but you can only control what the pitcher and batter does. If I was him, I'd tell my batting coach, "Hey, let's work the count. Let's get those pitch counts up. Let's get those walks, get runners on base. Runners on base means more points, right?" Jonas's team, 1,900 at bats, 479 hits, 280 runs, 323 RBIs, 254 walks, 400 strikeouts on 52 stolen bases. Jonas's team, really, really good on the strikeouts and walks. Let's see, does he walk the most? Of course he does. 254 walks, and he strikes out the least. His batters, superior to all in the league. Really, really great job by their hitting coach, Jonas. Great job on the hire and trades. Really keeping that arsenal strong in his department. I mean, the batters know what to look for, and they get on base. My team has got about 2,000 at bats, 483 hits, 263 runs, 257 RBIs, 193 walks, 436 strikeouts, and 27 stolen bases. Yeah, my guys do not like stealing bases. I mean, that's free bases that they could get. I just don't have any speed, I guess, on my team. I need to look into that. Maybe trade for some speed to get extra points. I can only do so much, and maybe I'll find some way to get those extra base points. Last but not least, we have Reese at 1,980 at bats, 489 hits, 240 runs, 229 RBIs, 185 walks, 480 strikeouts, and 41 stolen bases. Not really good on the walks either. He's really, really down there. Same thing. Look for the pitches. I mean, he ain't last, but it ain't good. I mean, that's free at bats. A lot of strikeouts compared. I mean, 480 strikeouts, 285 walks, not very good. So maybe he is to fix that up in the coming weeks. I mean, he's got a couple more trades in his repertoire, but better bets. He's trade for him. He'll probably trade for more. We'll see what happens. I mean, his numbers can very much fluctuate any direction. And pitching for our teams, very different story than what our hitting is. The worst ERA being Jonas at a 4.22 ERA. Pitchers not doing their job, and pitching coach may be at risk of losing their job. That's all I got to say about that. Strikeouts, it looks like for the strikeouts, best strikeout rate would be Daniel, just barely at 9 strikeouts a game, it looks like. But very close race between him and Gunnar in their bullpen. Ranger would be the big factor for Gunnar. I mean, the guy can pitch, in my opinion, against any team. No fear. Really throws it out there. The team that doesn't really get strikeouts would be my team. We give up a lot of hits, but we don't let them score. I don't know. It's a tough going. We need to get the strikeout rate up. Unlike other teams, I mean, only 8 strikeouts a game, damn near 7. Not really up there compared to the rest of the league. But walking, who has the most trouble with walking? It would be Jonas's team. Of course, with a bad ERA, you're going to have a lot of walks. He's averaging about 3 walks a game. Is that 3 walks? Looks like it. Probably more than 3, but yeah, the bullpen for Jonas needs a lot to work around. But out of only 332 innings pitched, it looks like he's had a lot of relievers compared to starters. I mean, myself and Adam have over 500 innings pitched, and we mostly have starters, maybe one reliever in the lineup. But like I said, numbers are bound to change. A lot of trades happen, a lot of transactions. And these teams can only really, I think, if we're honestly talking, the teams, I say that they can, like, the ceiling's a limit and all that, but if you want to know, outside of owner perspective, I think the playoffs are already set in my eyes. A's to Z's, Big D, Secondees, and the final finalists, I believe, would be your top teams. Wild cards between No Lux and myself, and kind of in the rebuilding phase, backdoor slider with all their trades, and Jonas' team, John Fisher's Ruptured Balls. They won't admit it, but lots of trades. Looks like a lot of rebuilding for backdoor sliders, but luckily, like I say, it's early in the season. A lot of numbers I just threw at you. A lot of info. These teams, pick your favorites. I mean, I've told you mine in the past. It's Jonas's team. His numbers aren't very pretty, but I believe in the team to get out of the slump. That's the stats for you. A little inside peek. Daniel keeps them. I think he'll soon post these at some point on the website, whenever that is. But I know numbers aren't really flashy to talk about, but we like hearing about them at certain points in the season. Just keep an eye out. That's your inside look kind of into the teams and the league and what everything's looking like and the owners. I plan to have some owners on the podcast in the future, talk about their teams and drama, struggles, what they like, what they don't like type of deal. But that's later on. For now, though, we've had a couple drama alerts. Ronel Blanco suspended for foreign substances, a 10-game suspension at that. Jake's team, the final finalist, I asked for a couple comments. He was not happy from the tone, and excuse my fruity language, but Jake said, F that B. However, after that comment and a week passed, the player still remains on the team. So maybe they talked about it behind closed doors and set him straight. Only time will tell. We're looking forward to Blanco's first game back. And Jonas, the creative Ground Trouble, has had a record of 0 wins and 2 losses on picking the victor for the matchup of the week. Not many are pleased with that. Myself included, I am a victim to one of those losses. Jonas, on his first pick'em, chose the retired owner Avery to beat Mr. Dr. Sneed. Nope, got that incorrect, and then he chose the Beltre Big Balls to win against the final finalists, and he was incorrect about that. Many say a jinx, curse, a buyout. Maybe he pays teams. I mean, we'll see. He chose himself in this matchup between him and the Big D. And I asked him some quotes. Let me pull up here some questions, comments, concerns. I asked him over the phone. He's 0-2 in the matchup of the week picks, and I wanted to just get any comments from him, from the fans or bettors who follow his advice, or the potential jinxes he puts on teams that he chooses. And he said, and I quote, "Well, matchup of the weeks like this one are never easy to predict, but it feels good to know that whoever I don't pick will be happy with it. Feels like a win-win. I'll be happy to lay down future jinxes this season." I mean, he's hinting at the thoughts of, choosing who he wants, or, accepting the bribes. And that's exactly what I asked him. I was like, what stops you for choosing the team you face every week to lose? And like, if he's openly accepting bribes. And he replied, and I quote, "The people want news of their league, not just my team. We do honest and analytical analysis to determine who we pick wrong week after week. The simple statement of bribery involving anything with Ground Road Trouble or its sister companies is ridiculous and fabricated." Bribes? Maybe. I mean, on the record, he's saying no. It's all come down to stats. We'll see. The future matchups this week we got going on. We have, just give me one moment here. We have A's to Z's against Beltre's Big Balls. Big D versus John Fisher's Ruptured Balls. That is matchup of the week. We have Segundi's Republic against Backdoor Slider, and the final finalist against Nolex Given. Week 9, really a doozy. A lot of division games going on, and it's anyone's season at this point in time. And I will see y'all next week. We have a special guest. Yeah, it's confirmed. We have a special guest next week, and I'm looking forward to talking and introducing them to you all. Well, until next time, I'll see y'all on the flip flop. Bye.